Holes. We've all got them. But really, what are they? No, really, what are they? Welcome back to another. Welcome back to another episode on Forever Hardcore. Now, I think the little intro we did there was pretty obvious, but if it wasn't, we are going to be digging some holes today. Yeah, we got a couple holes to dig. So our first hole is going to be over there at the library. We've got to clear out an area so we can actually build the interior to that. But then, you know, I kind of had this later on in my list of goals to do, but I want to build the creeper farm. I want to get that built, and we're going to be building my creeper farm, which kind of requires we dig a hole all the way down to bedrock. That way, it just kind of is the most efficient. But how are we going to dig these holes? I know we're standing out here in the dark, in the rain, but yeah, how are we going to dig these holes? Well, last episode, if you recall, we actually ended up getting a wither skeleton skull. And, you know, if you know, we need 2 more so we can make a wither, so we can get the nether star, so we can make a beacon. And that is my goal at this part in the episode. We need that beacon. Alright, we are making our way back into this blaze farm, and I can already hear skeletons. Oh god. This nether fortress kind of scares me. This guy over there. Oh god, oh god. I see a guy over there. I just want the skeletons. Come here. I don't like what's happening. What was that? I don't even think he was mad at me. He just wanted through. Oh, okay. I got my second head. Need 1 more. Okay, we did it. We're done. Gotta get out of here now. No. You go away too. Okay. All right, we made it out. We're not out yet, but we got our skull. All right, we're going back to the end now. So much fun. Okay, we are here, and that's a little scary. All right, people in the future can pretty this up. So I'm gonna dig a hole. I think we're on par for this episode. All right. So we're gonna dig a hole under here. All right. We're gonna spawn this thing in. This should be the right spot. Its head's gonna get stuck in the centerpiece right there. One there. Good luck. All right. Run. Alright, I'm gonna go like way over here just to make sure. Alright, I think we're good. Oh, alright, that was loud. Well, now that we've got the beacon, I think it's time we start digging a hole. Oh boy. clear this. This is a hole. Uh-huh. And it's a hole until I start building things in here. You know, it's basically a cave until I build stuff. Yeah. So yeah, this this didn't actually take all that long. You know, between getting the 2 extra skulls and, you know, I did end up getting a few more tools to make things easy on myself, so I wasn't going back and forth repairing my pick here. So we're gonna start getting things laid out and getting things looking pretty at some point, but I have a couple signs out here just to make sure to remind me of the things I want to incorporate into the library here. So just a few farms, like a sugarcane farm, cow farm, and a chicken farm. You know, 3 of the 4 things I need for making books and quills. And yeah, I want to make sure to move the librarians that I have down there because I think it makes more sense to have them up here. And then I want to make sure we have 2 floors, space for artifacts that people can keep in here, and then just a couple eggs. I want to make sure we display the dragon egg somewhere up there, and then the turtle egg to make sure to, I don't know, clear out the zombie piglins that we get coming out of the portal here. So we'll probably hide some stuff behind some walls that they die in. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna start getting stuff laid out here, and yeah, start making things look pretty in here. So what was once a hole is no longer. That sounds weird. I don't know. But yeah, so starting here at the front of the library, we have our turtle eggs, and this is where we're going to be killing the piglins coming through the portal. And then here at the front, this is our dragon egg, so it's going to be on display. It'll be like the first thing you see. And making our way through the hallway over here, that leads to a big room over here. And this is where we're going to have like tables, and this is where people would be like studying and stuff. And then if we go down the hallway here, we're going to have our bookshelves and chiseled bookshelves on the outer wall. And this is where people can store their books that they write, or, you know, just any stories. I don't know. It would be cool, maybe. But up top, this is where we're going to have our farms. So I don't really have an idea yet for the second floor. Maybe this is where we're going to have like our archives for items and stuff. But at the back, we're going to have our farms. So maybe over there, like the cow farm, chicken farm over there, and then like a sugarcane farm here at the center. So we have our villagers back here, and I think it would make sense to just make paper and have it like funnel down to the bottom here, where we can then trade the paper for emeralds. And then just have paper for like other things, like rockets and... yeah, I don't know. What else you do with paper? Books? I don't know. But yeah, villagers on the outer edge of the wall. And yeah, I think that'll be pretty cool. But I don't really know what we're going to be doing. I need to figure out the actual look of the library here. So I think I'm just going to spend some time and stare at some pictures of libraries. So I decided to take a bit of a detour here. I realized that since we're building a library, we're probably going to need a lot of bookshelves. Yeah, that means a lot of leather, and I came into the nether to build a hoglin farm to get some leather, and it's been working. It's doing pretty good. Now, it's not producing as much leather as I would have expected, but I am getting a lot of food out of this, so yeah, that'll be pretty handy for the rest of the series and for the people in the future. But yeah, I also realized that now that I've built this, I don't need to build the cow farm, so that actually leaves a lot more space for the sugarcane farm. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing, just building a bigger sugarcane farm. Yeah. Well, I've spent quite a bit of time here just working on the internal structure, and I think it's looking pretty good so far. Down here, I've got the floor design. You know, this is a little bit more complex than I typically do for a floor, but I think it's looking pretty good. I got it from like a reference image that I found on libraries. Yeah. But I'm kind of stuck on one thing right now. I don't know how to blend together the internal structure with the external structure. Like, I just didn't plan that very well. I don't know. But I might just end up changing the shape of the entrance here. That way, I don't know, it's a little bit lower than the floor that's going to be here. And yeah, I think that'll help to just get that done. Yeah. So moving on, we have a more permanent floor here, a bunch of these chiseled bookshelves because this is a library and that just makes sense. And I used a lot of this stuff. It just looks so good. I'm I'm really happy with how this turned out. But if we go down the hallways, you'll see a bunch more. This entire line or wall is just lined with these chiseled bookshelves. The only empty walls are like these two here and on the other side of the staircase. Like I think I might just get some paintings in here. Yeah, I think that'll just help to kind of make things feel a little different. But we just keep going along, and our librarians are back here. And this is when I realized I only have a few of villagers that actually trade paper for emeralds. But I think that's okay. We don't get paper. It's not coming in like all that fast. I might actually end up adding a couple more layers so we can get a little bit more paper a little faster. But if we come through here, this is probably my favorite little area of the library. It feels so good. You know, this is like what you would imagine a library like this would just look like. And at some point, I think I'm gonna get like a chandelier coming down through here to light things up. But yeah, and a bunch more bookshelves along that back wall. And it's just the same, more bookshelves down this hallway. Yeah. And once I get more paper, I think I'll actually make some bookshelves and just kind of pop them in. But I am getting a little exhausted working on this. And while we work on ideas, I think we still have like one more hole we got to go dig. So I've been thinking about this a little bit. Like we could build a mob farm or whatever, just a creeper farm on the surface here, but I don't know. Mob farms tend to work a little better the closer to bedrock you get. And this episode is all about holes. So why not just dig a hole? I think we're just gonna try to get as close to bedrock as we can to make this farm work reasonably well. Yeah. And so I've kind of already, I got this despawn sphere, and I think it's centered around here somewhere. I don't know. But I think we're going to try to dig a hole. We're going to dig a hole in this chunk because the farm that I'm going to be building is my design, and it fits perfectly into a chunk. It was designed that way. And yeah, I'm just going to dig down, I think, as deep as we can go that will still allow the farm to work. I'm trying to do this. There we go. That will still allow the farm to work while we're in the area here. Yeah, because we can't quite go down to bedrock because we're at like 90. Yeah, it's too high. We're too high. Well, I needed to take another detour because, well, I needed slime for the creeper farm. So I came out here to the swamp and I just built this quick little slime farm here. And this is working pretty well. I got what I needed, but if you don't, or if you aren't familiar with these kinds of farms, like, they're pretty simple. So brown mushrooms, they give off a light level of 1, as you can see, and that prevents any mob other than the slime from spawning. And yeah, then we have a golem at the center that attracts all the slime towards the center. Works pretty well. But I have everything I need now, and that means, well, it's time to build the creeper farm. And there we have it. The creeper farm is all done. And so this is a design that I've done a few times. But if we go into Freeking, we can take a look at the farm on the inside. So basically, we just have like some observers with some string on top. And if a creeper spawns, it gets pushed over by this slime block here. And then the creeper dies. Yup. That's about it. So it's a pretty simple design, but a little expensive when it comes to resources. So it's not like maybe the best choice, but it is my design, so I love it. And so the only thing I really got to do is maybe go into the caves. If we take a look, it's really hard to see where all the dark areas are. All right, so now we can actually see that it's quite dark in these caves. So we just need to go around and light up all these caves that are within this despawn sphere. And that should really help the rates here at the farm. Because I've only gotten a few gunpowder, maybe a little bit more. Maybe there's a little bit at the top here. Nope. Maybe if I go over here, just for a moment, I might see some gunpowder come up. Maybe. Alright, well, the farm right now is just really not effective until I get those caves lit up. But trust me, it works. I did get some gunpowder. Nope, I was hoping for a little bit more. Yeah, see, there's 3 in that shulker box. So I know this works. Well, I think that's where we're gonna leave it for this episode. I know we didn't get the library done, but yeah, I kind of assumed that would happen. You know, I figured it would take at least a few episodes to do. But yeah, we did accomplish what we set out to do this episode. We dug some holes. Yeah, that was definitely a thing. And yeah, I think maybe next episode we'll just get like work on the library here and maybe start working on spawn, making it pretty and stuff. So yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.